This is Valerie Van Boeven with the Senior Care Industry Netcast, where leaders with 3 or more years of experience in the senior care market share their advice. So let's get to it. In a few sentences, tell us who you are and what you do.
Good morning, Valerie. Thank you so much for this opportunity this morning to record this podcast with you. My name is Donna Rea, and I'm the owner of Caring Transitions North Dallas Suburbs. And my daughter, Nicole Maher, and I operate this as a women-owned and operated business. What we do is we do senior downsizing. We're a one-stop shop for everything from sorting, organizing, packing, moving, resettling, including making the bed, hanging the pictures. And then we offer an array of liquidation options, including online auctions, traditional estate sales. We have clean outs. We also have private buyer sales for those who may live in a gated community. And we have a fabulous team who are cross-trained to do every piece of what we offer in terms of services.
Well, that is a really big job, and
Yes.
I could never do what you do because, frankly, I couldn't even do it for myself. So I know moving is always, no matter how old you are, no matter what stage of life you're in, moving, transitioning, these kinds of things, when you're taking your whole life with you or part of your life with you somewhere else, is not only an emotional time, but it's also, I mean, obviously a very stressful time, right? Isn't like moving, death, divorce, those are in the big 3 stressors in our lives.
Yes, it is. And if you could think about really, sometimes we just need to step back and realize. So adult seniors, a lot of who we interact with, they've lived in their home for 40 or 50 years. And, it's overwhelming to think about the closets, the cabinets, everything that they need to clean out. And so I think one of the most important parts of our process is helping them with the sorting and organizing, I know it seems daunting, but have a buddy system and help sort of, what you're going to donate, what you're going to move, what you're going to liquidate. And so that process of that sorting and organizing process really helps them and to, empower them with knowing that donation companies can come right to your front door. You don't have to lug stuff. Shredding companies come to our front doors now. So there's a lot of different options in terms of, being able to serve. Yes, exactly.
And that's so nice. So nice to be able to have somebody to walk you through all of it and still feel in control of what decisions you're making about what you're keeping, what you're not keeping. And
yes,
that's very important for all of us, but especially when we feel like we're losing control, to be able to make those decisions.
Absolutely. And then also, I think one of the most important aspects is empowering our clients to make the decisions for themselves. So one of the other things that we do is we do space planning. So when we have the floor plan of where they're moving into, we'll lay out their furniture, we'll measure it, we'll lay it out in their new space. And so we could show them on a tablet, okay, your king bed might fit, but the triple dresser and the tall boy and the 2 nightstands probably won't. So let's make choices of what's most important to you. And so empowering them is very, very important.
Absolutely. And that makes us all feel better when we know we're still in control of what's happening to us in our lives and what decisions we're making are still ours. I think that is, that in and of itself is peace of mind. So
yes, it is.
What is the best thing about serving aging adults?
So, there are so many things, but I think one of the most important things is, they've worked hard all their lives, and sometimes it is just best for them to be able to sit in the director's chair for a change and let somebody else do the work. They've worked really hard. They've saved a lot. And this demographic, they don't change furniture and, things like the younger adults do today. So it's just best to help them to be able to sit back, relax, sit in the director's chair, and just let us do the work. Trust us to do the work and trust us to make sure that, again, we're empowering them, giving them dignity, and making sure that they're in control of, the change and what's happening.
Yep, I totally agree with you. There can't be, and this is another reason why I think your services are so important, it's hard to listen to an adult child. It's hard to take direction from a family member. It's much easier to argue with
Yes, yes,
somebody.
yes.
But when a third party who's an expert with a calm head, who doesn't have attachment to all these things, walks in the door and says, I think we can help. It's much, and I know it's still hard, but it's an easier, I think, on the kids and the senior to have a third party, and it's not that daughter or that son saying, Dad, you got to get rid of this stuff, or Mom. It's somebody else who knows how to speak the language and do it in a nice way.
Absolutely. And there's not only the sentimental piece of it, but the emotional tie to some of the things. And also, with the adult children, they're busy. We're all working full-time jobs, and they're busy, and it's daunting to them to look at, oh my gosh, my parents' house, they've lived there 30 years. I've lived in my house for 10 years, and I'm like, oh my gosh, there's so much that's been accumulated already, and we downsized, so but it just happens over time, and we just have to sit back and remember. We kind of chuckle about it with our clients. Hey, you're moving into senior living, and all 3 meals that are going to be cooked and served to you, we probably don't need 3 sets of measuring cups anymore. So let's just take one, But again, giving them those choices and just knowing, okay, yeah, maybe I don't need all those pots and pans anymore. Maybe I just need a few.
Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely, yes. And you're right. Adult children are, I come from a family of folks who are very sentimental about their antiques and who gave this to who and where this came from. My grandmother put a little note inside all of her teapots as to who she wanted them to go to, or she might have taped something on the bottom.
Yes.
God love her. Those are her wishes. We'll all abide by them.
Absolutely.
But when my grandfather passes, we're talking about, he's 93, and they've lived in this house, and she's passed on, but they've lived in the house since they were 20 years old. So I look at, my parents, who will be the people helping clean out this house, it's going to take an army.
A little overwhelming sometimes, yes.
It is. So it's services like yours that really do help the whole family, not just the senior. So that's appreciated.
Absolutely.
All right. I imagine in your lifetime and in your professional careers, there have been people or organizations that have really supported you or been mentors to you, or just you think are great examples of how organizations should be managed, or whatever. Who would you like to talk about?
What comes to mind for me, and it really specifically, so we are heavily involved with the chambers in our area. And one of the things that we did, we served on the steering committee to form both chambers that we're involved in, to form a senior service alliance within the chamber. And oh my gosh, it has taken off. And this has been probably 5 to 7 years between both chambers. And we are a group of professionals that are known and trusted, that have an array of services that we offer to our local community and seniors in the area. And all of these businesses, we collaborate every single month, and we did it every single month via Zoom. We're still Zooming, but it's just a collaboration of different businesses that can help seniors, whether it be placement, or whether it be home health, medical, non-medical, whether it be, just everything from soup to nuts in service, in terms of, knowing how to best help our aging population navigate right to the whole process. So I would definitely say Senior Services Alliance. And then we belong to another group called Silver Roof. And what I love about that, again, it's just a collaboration of senior businesses. But that organization is a nonprofit, and we help. Just recently, we had somebody that needed some sort of just a floor exercise, like an elliptical or a pedal, because they had some health issues, and we were able to donate that, and just different things like that. And so from all of that, spurred kind of our thoughts about our own philanthropy and our own giving back. And underneath Caring Transitions, we have a philanthropy program called Caring for a Cause. And so we were finding that, you know, after our estate sales and auctions and stuff, we were finding that a lot of the walkers, wheelchairs, potty chairs, things like that were left over and just basically going to donation and or to landfill. And so we stopped that process and we started putting those items in our warehouse. And when we marketed, we would share that, you know, if you know a low income senior that is needing, you know, a wheelchair, walker, cane, whatever, let them know. And this has gone like it's just flourished. We work with social workers and case managers, and that they call now and they say, hey, do you have a walker? I placed about 6 pieces yesterday, and love being able to, because of the organizations and the Senior Services Alliance, and to be able to spread the word about the different things we can do, not only to help seniors that, you know, are in need, but just all the way around, you know?
That is so nice. What a wonderful joy to be able to give medical equipment, which you and I both know is very expensive,
Yes.
to a senior in need who otherwise wouldn't be able to afford that walker, or maybe a new walker, or, you know, something insurance is not going to pay for.
Yes.
Wheelchairs.
Yes.
They're so expensive, and you know, I mean, you can get all kinds of different wheelchairs, but the price doesn't get any cheaper. So it just
doesn't.
all expensive. And, you know, so, I mean, to be able to donate a few of those things, or a lot of those things, canes even, I mean, you know, some of those are just amazingly, I can't tell you, in our house, we have had, you know, parents who have moved on, who we've donated their equipment.
Yes.
And then my husband has had a couple of surgeries and temporarily needed a walker, just temporarily, you know, around the house, a back surgery.
Yeah.
And to be able to share that or donate it to somebody is so nice. We have a knee scooter, which I know is really weird, but it's, you know, if you break your ankle, you can scoot around on your knee scooter. Right. And and I cannot tell you how many people we have loaned that to. And we're okay if it never comes back, but it always comes back.
Yes. Absolutely.
Just weird little things that help people temporarily or for a long time. So congratulations to you. What a nice thing to do. And helping your chamber get be a little more senior centric or senior focused in some of those areas. That's a great idea for every chamber. Every chamber should have pods of niches that are able to help each other, because in that chamber there is no way that all of you together could serve everybody in the Dallas area. There's no way.
Exactly. And so, you know, because we primarily work in the north suburbs, you know, just to be able to, you know, start, you know, with McKinney, and then Allen, Fairview, down into Plano and Richardson. And you know, and so it's really catching on, the Senior Service Alliance. I mean, you just think about with baby boomers, I mean, the explosion and you know, the silver tsunami, and it's definitely their services are definitely needed.
Yeah, and you guys are in the Sun Belt, so you're always going to have a great amount of retirees coming your way. And
yes, absolutely.
You will only grow.
Yes.
All right. Awesome job on all of that. So let's talk about online marketing. I know this year has been challenging. I know you mentioned you guys have been using Zoom a lot. How have you been doing your marketing when some of this in person is almost impossible? It's getting better, but it's been really challenging.
Definitely. So, you know, we definitely had to pivot, of course, as we all have, all of our businesses. But one of the things I will say is that, you know, seniors have become so much, you know, we've been in business for 10 years, and over the years, you know, our aging adults they've become so much more proficient with technology. There's not, you know, they all use tablets and phones and things, so it's much easier to reach. And then, of course, you know, targeting adult children as well. But we just, you know, between Google Ads and Facebook marketing and just the different platforms, we've just continued to do that. But because most of our business is word of mouth referral, and really a lot of it is the seeds that we plant through our boots on the ground marketing, which, we had to pull back on, of course. But there was always a way, and I know we're talking about really like the marketing online, but there was always a way for us to be able to either leave some goodies on the front door of a community or things like that, to be able to drop off. I remember last Memorial Day, we dropped off a bunch of word search puzzles and things like that. I mean, just to drop them at the front door. We couldn't go in, but it doesn't matter. It didn't have, and we were very sensitive about, nothing related to food and things like that. And just to be able to do it that way. But we definitely just try to keep it up via, like I said, Google ads and Facebook, marketing and things like that. And being able to make sure we were staying connected with our communities through, liking stuff on Facebook and sharing that way.
Yeah, and I would agree with you though. Your best referral, your best lead is always going to be an in-person referral or a professional or a client that's used you in the past. That's always going to be the best. And I will also say that you're right. We work with a lot of home care agencies across the country, and I will say that the ones who survived and thrived, or more than survived, they thrived, are the ones who never stopped. And they were sensitive, just like you said, but there was no reason why they couldn't, in the very beginning, set a healthy basket of something for the staff and just, we're thinking of you. We know how hard this is for you at an assisted living facility or at a senior living community. There was no reason why they couldn't do some of those things once we all kind of got through that shocky moment of don't touch me, don't get me, don't touch anything,
right,
don't accept packages from anywhere.
Wiping everything, yeah.
Wipe your cans of food from the grocery. Once we
didn't know what we didn't know, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I saw a neighbor of mine sitting outside, and I said, "Hey, what you doing there?" And he said, "Wiping these cans off." And my wife just brought from the grocery. I said, "Really?" Yeah. I mean, so we were really scared for a long time. But once that kind of, got better, it was those folks who continued to, show a brave face and say, "Hey, we're here for you. We know this is hard, and we support you. We're all in this together." And I think you can thrive. And lots of folks did. So congratulations to you for continuing to reach out.
Thank you. And didn't we all get creative? I mean, communities were doing everything from, drive-through, whatever, everybody got pretty creative thinking, we all had to pivot. We all had to think outside the box, and we do what we had to do.
I can't tell you how many parades we were in for our own parents. My husband's mother's in a nursing home and my dad at the time. And we would just do they would schedule a drive-through parade. Everybody we'll be there, and we just woohoo and wave and take video and pictures. So we did get creative, and hopefully we're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel now. I know it's not over, but it's better. Yeah. So that's good.
Well, and you just think about the parade, like you mentioned. I will never forget the joy on the faces. As you're driving through and you're waving flags or whatever you're doing, the joy just because of the isolation that they were experiencing, and just to see, different faces and people celebrating and things like that. I just will never forget the joy on the faces and the people that have been, under quarantine, and it was, and the isolation, just to break out of that, just for, even if it was for a couple of hours. Yeah.
Absolutely. And to get outside in the sun and to be able to, come out and enjoy the fresh air for a little while was amazing at that time. So absolutely. Mm-hmm. All right. What piece of advice would you give to other senior care providers out there?
Okay. Most importantly, be punctual. Punctuality is super important. When you set a 10 o'clock appointment, they're waiting for you at 9:45. So that's really important. And really do what you say you're going to do, and be honest and transparent in everything that you do. Stay on course, make sure you follow through and follow up on things, make sure you stay, in touch. We have a dedicated team member, Sarah. She's on the phone all day, 9 to 5, just handling if something got broken during a move. But, our clients, they do not have to wait for 3 weeks to get something repaired. It's done, typically within the week or even the next, week if it's, if something's on back order or whatever. But it's important to make sure that you're following through and taking care of your clients. The service after the sale, I'm so big on customer service. We say that we do provide our outrageous customer service, and we do. And being customer centric is so important. It's so important, and I'm a true believer in that.
Well, thank you for being that way, because it does make a difference to all of us, and
Yes.
we don't see that as often anymore. So,
yeah,
we all know how that goes. So thank you for being extra careful, and the service after the sale. Oh my goodness, that's so important. All right. When you have a win in life or business, how do you like to celebrate?
Me personally, I love to travel. And I love the ocean, and so it's all about traveling for me, whether it's with my significant other or with my girlfriends. I just love to travel. And that was hard last year as well, just being able to but we got creative, take driving trips or whatever. But I love just to get on a plane, and I'm not talking about exotic vacations. It's just a matter of just seeing different sites within our own beautiful country. And, whether it's visiting family, I just got back from Kansas City visiting family, but just those little trips away are just soup for my soul. And that's definitely the way I celebrate.
Nice. Very nice. Yeah. Getting away and just taking a little, even if it's a staycation, sometimes that's all you need to just refresh and recharge. And it's really nice after your team does a big move, or you've had a big estate sale or a big something. I'm sure it's nice to step back and say, I'm so glad they're happy, and just take a little minute for yourself.
Well, and not only that, but it's not just my personal celebrations and wins. Our team works really, really hard. So
Yeah.
the way we celebrate with our team is, we always do a quarterly team building meeting, and sometimes it looks like going bowling together. It looks like getting a bunch of board games and serving lunch and having everybody. We do scavenger hunts and for cash, because everybody loves cash, and we'll play bingo sometimes for cash, and they love that. They love that team building, and they love being able to celebrate. It's not just our winnings, but it's theirs too, because of the customer service that they provide for carrying transitions.
Very nice. Very nice. Well, I want to thank you for being on the show, for sharing your wisdom and all that you do for seniors. That's what this is about, is letting people know about resources and letting people know about how a well-run senior care, no matter what kind of care you're providing, business, how it looks, and how you have evolved over these years and what you do. So thank you so much for being on the show. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Valerie. Thank you for the opportunity.